Kia ora koutou, nau mai, haere mai ki whakaputanga hau. Oktopa waru, rua mano, rua teka. Hello everybody and welcome to the latest edition of the ISPWN newsletter. As a proud Kiwi, it's a New Zealander, I was honoured today to vote in person in our national election. For the first time ever, for me anyway, on New Zealand soil, because I've been away for a very long time. And as an honorary American, I hope that every eligible voter will get out there and do the same for your country, for our country. It's a very strange time right now, but everybody, your mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, my son, your children, aunties and uncles, and friends and neighbors, and anyone who really depends on your livelihood is depending on you to get out there and vote. Vote early if you can, or vote by mail if you have to. The fate of the nation is in your hands. Billing. Another gentle reminder. Under the new wireless billing terms in the amended MSA, which everybody has signed and returned to us, all services are prepaid, and due to that very nature, a deposit does need to be on hand so that lines can be activated and renewed as needed. The new version of the billing area to track your invoices, payments, credits, all the rest of it has been completed and implemented for all wireless agents. In addition to this, we have a new feature which for wireless renewals, where you can see what lines are coming up for renewal and how much is going to be deducted from your available balance that week. And it gets updated every Saturday, I believe, and so that you kind of know what's coming up for the next 7 days, and you can get everything sorted out during the week. How much is going to be deducted from your available balance, or how much needs to be paid. So please ensure that you have sufficient credit on your account to process the upcoming renewals by Friday. This is when we're preemptively sending out the list to of renewals that we know need to happen to the carrier, and we're doing that in advance to try and mitigate any potential issues of things being missed or anything of that nature. We're still processing other renewals on a daily basis or as needed, but it's just easier, if we can preemptively do it, get it out of the way, make sure that nobody ends up going down in the meantime. So yeah, again, make sure there's sufficient credit on your account in advance, because if a line is due for renewal but isn't paid for, you do risk the line going down until that billing issue is resolved, and in some cases we've seen lines be lost permanently. And as I said in my last video broadcast, ISP wholesale networks cannot and will not be held responsible for lines which have gone down due to credit issues. Wireless in the US, on the GSM-A network, we've noticed a few people have been having issues with the new plans using the RUT 240s. The carrier finally gave us an indication as to sort of roughly what's going on with these, and we found that somewhere along the way, one of the systems they set up for us to control traffic for our lines has gone a bit bonkers. We are setting up a replacement, and we'll be updating the settings and devices over the coming days to get them back online and functioning properly. In the meantime, though, we have isolated the lines we knew to not be functioning correctly one by one, and we have had them reprovisioned to another plan as a temporary measure, and we've sent most resellers affected, instructions for removing the VPN from the device, again temporarily, and the plan once the carrier gets their AN to G and gets things fixed will be updated again, and the VPN will need to be reinstated once the carrier gives us the all clear that everything's working properly. CDMA-V. We've noticed a lot of people having issues with these, particularly when they're using MoFi devices. We don't know why it seems to be MoFi specific, but we have kind of isolated a problem, and we have found a workaround that seems to sort of resolve the situation, but we're still testing it before we go rolling it out to everyone. But in the meantime, we have revoked MoFi's approval or position on the approved list for CDMA plans. However, there are at least 2 devices which are in line to replace the MoFis. One of those is the iNet X750, I think it was, and that seems to be the best bet at the moment. We've also noticed a separate issue that seems to be affecting some CDMA-V lines, but not all, and so we're actually looking to set up a similar system to the one that we're already setting up for the GSM-A plans to get things working a bit better for the CDMA-V lines. And we'll be rolling that out, most likely at no extra charge. I certainly don't think we should have to charge for it. We have, however, noticed a separate but related issue also affecting CDMA-V lines. So we're setting up a similar system to the one that we're already setting up for the GSM-A lines to get things working a bit better for these plans. GSM-T. Overall, things have been pretty quiet on the GSM-T front. We've seen a downward trend in the number of trouble tickets, which suggests that for the most part, those services have been pretty stable. We are still working pretty closely with the network to make new services available, both for high usage plans, for home broadband, 5G, etc. And we're also developing some low usage plans for IoT. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with for us there. And both with GSM-T and GSM-A, we are planning on releasing some plans aimed at the education sector. IPTV, with a newer, faster, better Android app, which you can already download from within Phoenix, as well as 3 new set-top boxes. Interest in our IPTV services has been heating up, and we're very excited to be making this available to you. I put some screenshots in the written version of this newsletter, so to speak, for you to look at, not just of the screen of the interface, but also of the boxes themselves, and they are very cool. Wired in the US. So Comcast XFINITY has released new pricing and speed tiers. 25 megabits went up to 35, 75 went up to 100, 150 went up to 200, 250 went up to 300, 500 went up to 600. Gigabit is still gigabit, I'm afraid. That's about as high as they go at the moment. You can see your rate cards for the latest pricing. Some of the plans, especially in the higher tiers, dropped by well over $100. New Lumen, formerly CenturyLink, and Quantum Fiber pricing, as well as speed tiers and tools. Just yesterday, we finally received some much awaited access to Lumen's new pre-qual and ordering tools. Along with this, there have been a few changes in speeds and pricing, but the best part is the new system, which is vastly simplified over the old system, is now available to all of our staff to use, and we're able to just straight up qualify service addresses for ADSL, VDSL2 and bonded VDSL2, FTTX and certain fiber products, and it all around just gives us vastly improved access to the services that we can make available on that infrastructure. The new pricing and service tiers aren't on the rate cards or in Phoenix just yet, but will be added in the coming days. New Spectrum fiber pricing. Yes, you heard me correctly. Spectrum's enterprise fiber products are now available at ISPWN, and pricing is now available on the rate cards for terms ranging from 1 to 7 years. International. In the UK and Europe, I'm proud to announce really that in the next few days our new entities in the UK and Europe will be able to begin operations. We've done this because we needed to make it easier for us to deal with our European resellers and service providers alike at a more local level. In other parts of Europe that aren't going to be specifically mentioned, we're also working on plans that are going to allow us to offer a consistent experience and price in almost all of the European Union. Suomi, Finland. Suomen markkinoiden hinnoittelumallien valmistuminen on kestänyt hieman kauemmin kuin odottiin, mutta teemme kovasti töitä sen toteuttamiseksi, joten anteeksi syvästi siitä, mutta tilini edustajat ovat tanskalaisia. Completing the pricing models for the Finnish market's taken a little bit longer than I had expected, but we are working to make that happen. Russia. Мы видим переговоры предоставлений услуг не только в России, но и в большинстве стран СНГ. Мы надеемся, что сможем использовать некоторые сети, охватывающие многие страны в рамках единого контракта. We are in negotiations to bring services not just to Russia, but to much of the CIS. We are hoping to be able to use some of the networks which cover many countries as a single contract deal. Bharat, India. हाल ही में पेश किए गए वायरलेस सेवाओं के अलावा भारतीय संस्थाओं के लिए वायर्ड विकल्प विकसित किया जा रहा है. चाहे वे स्थानीय लाइसेंस धारण कर रहे हों या फ्रेंचाइजी होने की इच्छा रखते हों. In addition to the wireless services that have recently been introduced, wired options are being developed for Indian entities, whether they are holding local licenses or wish to be franchisees. Nihon, Japan. 日本でのサービス提供に興味のある方は、今が絶好のチャンスです。新しい LTE および 5G サービスをテストしてくれる人を探しています。If you are interested in offering services in Japan, now is a great time. We are looking for people to test our LTE and 5G services. Brazil. No momento existen planos para ligar para o Brasil por hasta 1 hora por mes. También estamos trabajando para establecer servicios locales. Plans are currently available to call Brazil for up to an hour per month. We're also working to establish local services. América Latina. Latin America. Actualmente hay planes disponibles para llamar a países individuales de América Latina por hasta 1 hora al mes. Seguimos trabajando para establecer servicios locales en varios países desde la cima de México hasta Tierra del Fuego. Plans are currently available to call individual countries in Latin America for up to an hour per month. We are continuing to work to establish local services in a number of countries from the top of Mexico to Tierra del Fuego. International wired. Wholesale access to unbundled ADSL, VDSL, and FTTX products are becoming available in New Zealand, Australia, and the UK very soon. Availability of circuits of all shapes and sizes are quickly becoming available on a global basis. For the latest rate card, please refer to the email that you first received when you requested information from us or became a dealer. There is a permalink which will always link you to the latest version of your rate card. If you don't have the link or can't find it, please let us know. If you have any other questions, please by all means reach out to myself or any of our billing or sales staff.